Hello beer tubers and welcome to the Master of Hoppets Grand Advent calendar. The different calendar this year because I have twins. So we're doing 4 episodes. Me, Peter, the Master of Hoppets, and Henrik, the General of Goose. We didn't introduce you in any episode.
Yeah. The people that have following your channel for many years, they know who I am.
And I didn't even introduce myself because I'm going to put my hair on fire. Because it's stupid. Stronger beers, more booze, only 4 episodes. We're halfway there, and I'm not sober.
I think we're having a pretty good time here, man.
Yes, we've had Madeira wine, we've had single malt scotch,
whiskey,
and we've had barrel-aged beer, non-barrel-aged
cinnamon,
beer.
coconut.
All the beers so far has been Christmassy. And again, it's a surprise for Henrik what we're having. So, I'll turn on the candle.
I have Peter's babies.
The third, no, they're not that small.
Oh, that's true.
So it's the third of Advent.
Screaming and pooping a lot more.
Yeah. The third of Advent. Whoa, look at that flame.
Whoa.
Metal. So we got 2 beers, it looks like. Maybe. And we got 2 glasses. Don't shake it, bastard. And it's a surprise for you. So open the present.
I'm opening it.
And carefully because you don't want to drop them.
No. But I'm careful. Careful with your figure. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Whoop. Ooh, what do we have here? Memphis Mafia. Imperial Riz à l'amande pastry sauce. So Riz à l'amande. Oof. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. What do we have here? What do we have here? Whoa! Tiny Barrel Project Memphis Mafia Bourbon Barrel Aged Imperial Pastry Stout. So this is the Christmas version of.
No, the normal version and the barrel aged.
Okay, the normal version and the barrel. Okay, yeah.
So these 2 are from Mad Scientist. In Budapest. I've never reviewed a Mad Scientist beer.
No, that's why it looks so different.
If you look on this can, what does it say right there?
It says Ølsmageren Fra Gjøl, which is Danish.
Yes.
Which is Danish.
So Jesper, who runs Ølsmageren Fra Gjøl, made a collab with Mad Scientist, which is insane. Like, it's a small but awesome bottle shop on Gjøl. Yeah. It's like a side hustle that he has, besides his job, where he sells a lot of awesome craft beer logos. He's had Anchorage barrel-aged beers in his shop, and he's on Gjøl. And if you're like what are you talking about?
Close to where your dad lives, isn't it?
It's on the way.
You go through.
It's closer to Tim and Michael.
It's like a small patch, basically, in the Limfjord of Denmark, where it's just like bulging out.
Yeah, and it's a small harbor town, and it used to be famous for mink farming.
Yeah, mink farming.
And then there's
not anymore.
No.
Because of the COVID shit.
Yeah. But Jesper has a small bottle shop there, and it's just like a place where you think, a bottle shop there, but he does have one, and he sells a lot of great craft beer, and he had this beer made for him. And I saw that he had that made for him. I was like, what? That's crazy. And I asked him, is there any chance that you can set a can aside for me? Because I'd love to try your collab with Mad Scientist. And he was like, I would like to sponsor it for your Christmas shindigs. I was like, whoa, okay, awesome, thank you. So we got these from Ølsmageren Fra Gjøl. So thanks a ton. Check them out. I'll put a link for the Facebook page on the video in the bottom in the description.
I don't know. Riz à l'amande, is that a very...
Let's just wait here.
It's kind of a Danish thing, isn't it?
It is. So we've got this brewery in Budapest called Mad Scientist. If you're into craft beer, you might know them. The beer that I think people discovered them through is their Space Muffin, which is a blue pastry braggot. So it's a mix of sour beer and mead. It's blue it looks crazy, and their
Star Wars juice.
Yeah, and the glass looks like their logo. If I can, is it on here? It looks like a chemist vial. Like that. That's their beer glass.
Okay.
So they've been in Denmark a few times doing tastings and whatnot, and I'm impressed that they made a collab with him as well because it's such a small thing. But I think the idea was like he probably really liked this because it's very Danish, and then he's like, how about you barrel age them? And then they have this tiny barrel project when they do a small amount of barrels, and then they were down to do this beer in barrels. So it's called Memphis Mafia, and I think it's a beer that's targeted to try and hit something on the Danish market, which is really impressive. Like a brewery in Budapest trying to do something that's Danish.
But sorry, so.
This
is the original.
No, this is the original.
This is the
which
original.
is a imperial stout that's supposed to taste like Ølsmageren. And Ølsmageren sounds French, but it's a Danish dessert from the 80s, which you have for Christmas.
Yeah.
It's a rice porridge with vanilla and almonds, and then you have a cherry sauce on top. Every Danish household pretty much has this for Christmas.
Yeah.
And end of story.
They make
you have it for
so much Ølsmageren for Christmas.
And for the tradition of serving this, there is an almond hidden somewhere.
A whole
almond hidden somewhere in the bowl of porridge.
Yeah.
And the person who gets the almond when you're eating it gets a present before getting all the other presents. And that's the tradition. So they somehow decided to do something for the Danish market where they called it Memphis Mafia, which is not Danish at all, but then it's like But maybe this is a reference to the Memphis Roadhouse, I think, Memphis. There is in Jutland, a few kilometers close to you, there is a Memphis mansion, which is a copy of Elvis's mansion.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is a museum and a restaurant.
Very strange. And they have
Denmark.
They have all like the American things that Elvis would eat. They have that. They have that there.
Yeah.
So you can get that peanut butter jelly bacon sandwich there if you really want to.
So maybe it's a reference to that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they made this. Oh, you can also see the logo there properly with the vial. So I've never reviewed a beer from them, but kind of. On the Faroe Islands, reviewed an Imperial Stout aged in barrels with like lavender and stuff. They like go nuts with ingredients. They call them like flavor scientists or something. So this one is brewed with, so we got the description here in many different languages. Memphis Mafia, it's brewed with, it's even in Danish. Water, malted barley, sour cherries, malted wheat, flaked oats, malted oats, roasted barley, almonds, vanilla, hops, and yeast. And then this is basically the same deal, but then aged in barrels. And I think it was bourbon barrels.
But I'm still a bit confused.
It actually, bourbon barrels.
This was the original one.
Yeah.
The Ølsmageren one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then because of Ølsmageren Fra Gjøl, they made this special barrel aged version.
But did
and I think the only place in Denmark you can get this is his bottle shop.
But did they know that they were making this for Denmark?
I think the idea was to hit the Danish market. Is my guess. Like, how do we
very
sell
small market?
Yeah,
but okay.
Most craft breweries are small, so you need to do the shotgun approach.
That's true. That's true.
But this is the first time we'll try some.
You mean the rifle approach?
Yeah. Try some mad scientist on the channel. Are you gonna pour the regular? Then I'll pour the barrel.
I'll do that. No head at all.
No head on this one either.
Wow.
But it's if you ever are in Gjøl, I definitely think you should visit Ølsmageren because it's a nice little place. He's only usually open on weekends, and Jesper's very kind. He hangs out, he talks to the customers, he has tastings. I've done a little meet the brewery, went with Bad Seed there. You get to meet the locals, you have a beer, you hang out. And then sometimes there's a food truck there as well. But let's start out with Memphis Mafia, the regular edition.
So the one to the left.
That is that.
Because I already remember it. That's how. We've only been drinking for 1.5 hours, and I'm already
2 hours. 2 hours. But the barrel aged version, I think also usually the barrel aged beers is the same label scheme, but it's in bigger bottles. So that's why it's called tiny barrel. It's also smaller cans. But let's try Memphis Mafia. You ready?
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
So pour is a very, very rich looking black color in the glass. Yeah. It looks like an Imperial
Stout. A lot thicker.
Yeah.
Compared to both the
other
Leaves Porter and also the...
But it's also a stout. They weren't stouts.
No, yeah, that's true.
Beige head. Let's check out the aroma on this one. Oh, it smells exactly like Ølsmageren. Wow. I did not expect it.
Wow, yeah. A lot of marzipan and...
It smells...
Almond and...
Yeah. It smells exactly like the cherries from Italy. What are they called?
Yeah.
In the blue and white labels.
Arona. What's it called?
No, not Amarone.
No.
What are they called?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It smells exactly like those Italian cherries that are like so intense in flavors.
Yeah.
They also in ice cream. When you have cherry gelato,
It's a lot of cherries.
a lot like cherry gelato, cherry and chocolate.
Cherry and chocolate, and a bit of
vanilla.
The marzipan.
So much marzipan.
Yeah.
So much marzipan.
Yeah.
What are they called? It's not maraschino cherries.
Amarone.
No, that's a wine.
No, that's wine.
Amarena.
Yeah. It was close.
I'm close. Amarena Kirsch. Amarena cherries.
Yeah, Amarena cherries.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amarena cherry.
It smells exactly like that with chocolate.
Yeah.
It smells kind of. It's
in
very
the,
pastry stout.
in the ceramic
glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can show the camera. I don't know, maybe they can see it.
Maybe they can see it. See this one.
Not that close. Further away because the focus. Yeah, well, it's something like that.
But above the fire.
It smells like that and smells like lots of chocolate. But let's try Memphis Mafia, and thanks a ton to Ølsmageren Fra Gjøl for the
cherry bomb.
Ooh,
that is funny.
It's also savory.
Yeah, that was my thinking as well.
Like there's such a salinity to it.
Salinity to it.
Roasty salinity.
That's weird.
There's a lot of cherry in this. It's got so much sour cherry. It's almost like a mix of stout and like a cherry sour.
That puts you so much off the salinity of it.
It also has
I don't know why.
But do you know what's also weird? I'm getting bitterness of almond. Like the bitter, if you don't peel the almond, that like the bitterness of the skin.
Like the skin.
This is really pastry. Really pastry. Sweet,
it's really
very rich. It's like, and it's all about adjuncts. Like base beer, there's some roasted maltiness, and then there's this umami note. And I think the umami could be roasted malt.
I don't think I've ever had anything like this.
No. But you know what?
The salinity really puts me off.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like it. I don't like it.
Do you know what it also tastes like? Makroner. If you ever make Danish apple pie is with these, they're called makroner. What is almond flour and egg white? Is it almond flour? They're like whipped and puffed up, and they look like crackers. And you crush them up, and you use it with stewed apples and cream.
I mean, but that's macaroons, right?
But it's not the same.
No, it's
a
not the same.
macaroon is completely different.
I don't think they use almond for the macaroon.
Makroner. But it tastes like makroner.
Yeah.
It must be a flavoring, because you can definitely feel that it's a rich base beer, but there's something about this that is like flavoring to me. There's something that reminds me of like ice cream flavoring. But it really does taste like Riesling.
It tastes like Riesling, but it
tastes
has
it tastes like Riesling in a stout format with sour cherry. But let's try the barrel aged version.
Let's do that. Yeah.
So this is made for
maybe
Ølsmageren Fra
that
Gjøl.
will.
It's bourbon barrels, and then this is less strong. It's only 10.5.
Maybe that will settle it for me.
Let's see. They had a massive tasting where Mad Scientist visited Gjøl to do a big beer tasting.
Just look at it. There's like when you swirl it, there's no carbonation. It's just
and sticky looking. I think this is a case of well, you can see specks.
Look at that.
You can see specks in here, so maybe it is real vanilla beans.
I mean, even if you tried your best, you could not get ahead on this.
But it looks similar otherwise. Let's check out the aroma.
I think it actually looks a bit thicker.
It does. Well, let's check it out.
Let's check it out.
Definitely bourbon, and much less of everything else.
Much less of everything else.
It smells more like a stout.
That smells a lot more like
stout, A lot more roastiness, caramel fudge, kind of nuances from the barrel, a little bit of cinnamon.
Yeah, caramel, cinnamon.
But
I think maybe a bit cinnamon actually.
Yeah, but underneath there is that like cherry vanilla thing. Like it smells like this, just like, calm down, bruh, calm down.
Calm down. We're good. We have the cherries. It's there, but we don't need that.
It just smells more cohesive and balanced. It smells more like an Imperial stout in barrels first, and then pastry stout second.
Yeah, which is what we like.
Yeah, pastry. Like it shouldn't taste like this, so you can't taste the barrel.
No.
Well, let's try it. Cheers. Richer, sweeter, much more bourbon. But I think there's a lot of that vanilla, like a lot of sour cherry.
There is still a lot of cherries, but it's much more
cohesive
and refined.
Yes, for sure. And it's not like as bombastic and vibrant.
But there's actually a lot of sourness in it.
Yeah, lots of sour cherry. It kind of reminds me a bit of drinking Jam the Radar from Bottle Logic. And that's actually a fairly big praise because this is a very rich beer. Jam the Radar is raspberries and chocolate in bourbon barrels. But the big thing that always is a catch-22. Is it 22 or 23?
I don't know.
You guys know.
Let us know in the comments below.
It's fruit in barrel-aged stout. And some people love it, some people hate it. Like there's also port wine in this, I think.
And I don't know if I like it or if I don't like it.
Yeah.
It didn't help me. This beer did not help me determine if I like this or I'm in such a weird place right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like it or hate it.
That's how I felt with most Mad Scientist beers, to be honest. I don't know if I like it or I hate it. But I like these. There's some Christmas festivity about it, but I also don't love them. But I will definitely say I like the barrel age much more than the base because this tastes more like a modern, like sweeter stout, whereas this is full on pastry, and I think it gets too much. But the weird thing is that sour fruitiness.
But you know what? I'm going on a limb here.
It almost tastes like cherry cola.
But I actually like this more. And you know
The
what?
regular.
You know why?
Why?
Because it is exactly what it states it is.
Yeah.
And I think this is too much sour cherries and sweet and I'm missing just something that can balance out all of that.
I agree with that. There's a balancing factor that's a bit off, but like with pastry stout, it balances out the window.
But this is too much out of the window for me.
Much too much sweetness.
Too much out of the window for me.
Yeah. It's very much like really bold, crazy, intense sour cherry with like this vanilla almond thing. But like again, we talked about all these perplexing, crazy flavors, and everything about this is crazy. It's definitely a mad scientist kind of beer. But I prefer a beer where the bourbon gets to shine, and you see the barrel, you see the base beer.
But you also have the roastiness and
all this.
This just have some the weird salinity, but it doesn't really balance out the sweetness.
No.
I mean,
but I think that's because this is modern pastry beer, and we prefer barrel-aged stouts, like stouts where they taste stout-like with the addition of an adjunct, and the barrels shine.
Yeah.
This is an example where this is pastry first, and then you have a layer of barrel, and a lot of people are gonna go apeshit for this. I think the people who had this at the beer tasting at Ølsmageren Fra Gjøl, they loved it. They were like, wow, this is so good. And I see it. It's like definitely catering to a modern beer palate. But now we're going to pair it with something that's going to be so different because this is a long video. This is the longest video so far. So we're going to...
But we're also ranting and we're pretty tipsy. So.
Yeah, we're going to cut a lot of this out.
But you don't want to grade them first?
Oh, yes. We can grade them first.
Let's grade them first.
You should go first. Then.
I think they're funny, somewhat okay tasting beers. I'm not in the 90 territory, so I am probably gonna grade this 88, maybe 87, and this is 86 for me.
Yeah. I was actually with the barrel aged variety. I'm gonna go straight 90. There's a lot in this beer that I can really see good things about. Like the base beer, they know how to construct a beer to age in barrel. I can see a lot of technicality where these guys, they know their shit. But then all the adjunct stuff is a bit like personal preference, too much. So yeah, I'll say straight 90. If we're rating in terms of a barrel-aged Danish Christmas pastry stout, whatever, this would be like higher.
Yeah.
It'd be higher 90s. And I'd say I somewhat agree with you on this. High 80s, 88, something like that. I think the sour cherry stuff, it's really fun, but it's the base beer drowns even more. So I like this more because there's more base beer, basically. But we're going to pair this with something that does not suit it at all. We're going to pair it
totally
with
different.
Mescal that is smoked.
With a worm in it.
With a worm in it from Mexico. This is Mescal Artesanal from Oaxaca, and this is Divino Reposado. Reposado is aged mezcal. Reposado in general in Mexico is when it's aged. There's añejo, extra añejo, and then there's reposado, which is the aged stuff, where the color of the spirit is from aging in barrels, not color. Caramel color. Yeah, and then there's a worm in this. So I got this from my sister when she was in Mexico with her boyfriend, and they went to a mezcal shop, tequila shop, and they told the person there, we want to get a gift for my brother. He loves smoky flavors and smoky mezcal, he told us. So give us the most smoky mezcal you have. And this is what they got. But let's try it.
Yeah, let's try it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh, it's so smoky. Like if you don't like smoke, I'm getting like savory
sausage and bacon.
Salmiak.
Yeah,
Smoky,
almost salmiak.
Smoky licorice. And then it's got like that fruity agave taste, but it's so intense and smoky. And it's really oily too. Like of all the drinks today, it's
the Mafia
is really oily.
Yeah, it's really oily. But I actually like it very much.
Me too. I love island smoke. Like this is so tequila and mezcal for a lot of people is shots. This is something I like to sip on.
Yeah.
Like you can actually sit and sip on this. But I've tried to make like cocktails with this, where I've made like smoky pineapple cocktails, where it's like been roasted pineapple and this like it's been really really nice. I've only done it a couple of times, but this is the most intense and forward flavor of all the sidecars today so far.
Yeah. This is the most extreme.
Yeah. And it's very fitting with the beer because the beers are really extreme.
That's true. It's really extreme flavors we're having.
Yeah,
here.
it's the most extreme flavors of the day so far. So that fits. But it's also kind of like the beers, a bit one note. Like the beers are one note in terms of their adjunct. This is one note.
Cherry, and this is just smoke.
Yeah. Smoke and char and burnt kind of. Burnt cactus.
I mean, I wouldn't say it, but almost burning plastic.
Almost a little bit, yeah, I can see that.
I mean,
and a little bit of sweetness. There's a bit of sugary.
Burnt plastic can have a nice smell to it, which
but
is
you get sometimes
weird.
You get that sometimes with like with burnt plastic flavor. You can get that sometimes with the peating whiskeys too.
Yeah.
But it's like it's a lot of smoke, lots of smoke, and then there's a touch of fruitiness. And the fruitiness there is like that kind of like tequila fruitiness. You sometimes get this like vegetal fruitiness.
Yeah.
But
I think it's pretty good. It's nice.
It's like if you want an onrush of smoke, it's fun to sip. But otherwise, I think it's cocktails where it really gets to shine. Again, that combination of this like this with pineapple and passion fruit. Is really nice.
So 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10? You're gonna give it a 1 out of 10.
No. What are you? 1 out of 1 out of 10. Sorry.
What? I will give this an 8 out of 10. I think it's nice. I like it.
I am going 7 out of 10.
You think it's too smoky?
I just like a bit more complexity.
Well, yeah. I think it's definitely complex, but it's you have to get past the smoke.
Yeah.
But thanks a ton to Ølsmageren from Gjøl, Fra Gjøl for the beers. And check him out if you're ever in Denmark. And as always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page, and stay tuned for the next episode next week. Hey! Where we're going to be even more inebriated because we're drinking more beer and more booze. So cheers in 2 beverages at once, and see you in a week's time for the Master of Hoppets Grand Advent Calendar. Cheers. Okay, let's try and have a sip of beer and booze. Fuck, that's a bad combination. Ugh. Don't mix it.
Don't do that.